Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Pigskin Breakdown Show, powered by the Sports Guys Iowa Network. I am Ghost Brandon Leonard, joined by my good buddy Jay Jordan Cole. Jordan, how are we doing on this evening, my friend?
Get to talk about some games, so I'm doing great.
One day closer at a time to game day. Thursday is the day this week, the day we've all been waiting for. Thursday Night Football. 3 games that we want to talk about. A good little mix and match grab bag of different divisions and college football sanctions that we'll see taking place, at least in the state of Iowa. So we're going to talk about those lines that are associated with those via the Massey Ratings, similar to what we did last year. Ken Massey's Massey Ratings put out lines the week of games, and we got those Thursday night games ready to roll. So we'll dive into that here in just a moment. But first, we want to thank our friends over at Van Ag for presenting this show. Protect your yield and improve your fields with Van Ag out of Dysart. Van Ag offers precision drone applications for fungicides, foliar nutrients, and fast, accurate cover crop seeding. Less crop damage, more efficiency, and the ability to work when other equipment can't. To learn more about Van Ag, call Nate Van Buren at 319-430-3671. That's William Penn Statesman legend, Nate Van Buren, 319-430-3671. Thanks again, Nate. Jay, let's talk about these games here. We're going to get to William Penn last. We're going to start in order of time with this game. So the very first kickoff for Iowa colleges is 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Northwestern is making the trek over to WIU Macomb, Illinois, Western Illinois, the Leathernecks. Okay, Jay, so this line for that one via the Massey Ratings is Western Illinois 23.5-point favorites. It's going to be on ESPN Plus if anyone wants to watch that. I know you'll probably be following along. I'll see what I can do. Planning on being at Drake Stadium myself. But, Jay, I want to start off with you making your picks. Who do you like in this one?
The last time Northwestern took on an FCS opponent, it was back in 2023. They went into Drake. And speaking of Massey Ratings, he actually, with his database, you go back and look years down the line, he had Northwestern a 3.5-point favorite in that game against Drake. So they did also finish that season 14-1 with their lone loss against Kaiser in the national championship game. I think here I like to ride with the NAIA schools taking on these FCS opponents. It doesn't happen very often. Like I said, this last one was 2023. I think I went back and I was searching through Reddit. There was like 15 games this guy could recount just from memory. I tried to find it to get you a definitive number, but I couldn't find it myself. But with Northwestern's history taking down Drake, again, different team, I like them to go in and make them here and keep it at least close, not necessarily win the game. But with them returning 8 out of 11 starters on defense, they do lose a little bit on the D line, and it was the number 1 ranked defense in NAIA last year. I like them to at least be pretty hungry there on the defensive front. I think their defensive backfield I think that's where a lot of their production is coming back. I think they're going to be pretty good. Offensive side of the ball, last year's a little rough, but returning their starting quarterback, Colby Duncan, he threw for 14 scores at 5 more on the ground. He accounted for 48% of Northwestern's rushing yards last year. I don't know, familiarity on defense side of the ball. I think they can at least keep this one close against the Leathernecks. What say you, Ghost?
I'm going to play the other side of the coin there. Now, Western Illinois struggled a little bit. They were 4-8 last season. 2 of their losses were to Big Ten schools. So I'm going to kind of throw that out of the equation since that's pretty much to be expected. They did lose 8 games total, but there were some pretty tight games. A 1-possession game against Eastern Illinois, a 1-point game at UT Martin, 1-possession game against Charleston Southern. They lost to SEMO by 1 possession. So a lot of their losses within conference play were by within 1 score. Could have went the other way. There's so many variables with different FCS and AIA. I don't know exactly what to think, but I was checking out their squad. I do trust Phil Steele. I think Phil Steele's one of the better football guys out there. And on his preseason all OVC team, he had 11 Western Illinois Leathernecks, including 5 on the first team. Quarterback Kason Carswell, wide receiver Christian Anaya were just 2, to name a few. So we'll see if they can maybe have their way with Northwestern. I don't know what to expect. I do think it's going to come out firing. They're going to be hungry after that. A little bit of a disappointing 2025 season for them. But in the end, I do like the FCS school pulling away, covering 23.5. The Iowa Nittany hopes I'm wrong, but we'll see. It's good to have some parity on this show too, Jay. What do you say about that?
Yeah, you have to have it. It's pretty boring to listen to two guys agree with each other the whole time. You make great points. I hope I made some great points. And if you can find somebody to take your action, there will not be a sports book that will do that. Then go for it. Put your own hard-earned money on whoever you think is going to win this game or cover.
Yeah. Massey ratings, pretty dang accurate from what we've seen in the past.
Yeah.
There's got to be a reason he keeps doing it, other than it's fun.
And he touches everything: baseball, the big boys, and football. It's fun to just dive in there every once in a while.
Yeah, a fun spin, fun twist, wrinkle with rankings. It's fun to see. We're going to be keeping track of these picks all year too, guys, to see how we do. So that way we can crown a champion at the end of the year. Producers JD and Zebo are also on the Leathernecks at 23.5, just to give you guys an idea of where they're off screen. But hey, they make the PBS run. Game 2, Jay. Okay, the 6:30 kickoff. That's the one that I'm planning to be at. Over there in Dogtown, Drake is hosting the Hard Rockers, South Dakota Mines. Drake's at 27.5-point favorites, Jay. What say you about this game?
It's a tough one because I feel like we've been just clamoring all off season about getting the Top Gun offense out there, seeing how this transition from D3 to FCS is going to play out for Walker and Matheson and all the guys. I'm still not even too positive on how many guys he's bringing over from UWRF on the student athlete side of things. But I just think this is a tough spot for Drake. I'm not going to throw out the cliche term of a look ahead spot, but it really is. How much do you want to throw out there against a game where you should handedly win against South Dakota Mines? 27.5-point favorites here, according to Massey. You have Montana on deck, followed by UNI. So in the back of my head, I want to fully invest in Drake. I'm going to love watching them play. I'm envious of you getting to be at the opener. But I think they might just pull the reins back a little bit. Hey, let's just get out of this one healthy, save a few tricks up our sleeves for the Grizzlies. And I'm going to go with the Mines here. They did have a pretty tough season last year when they stepped up in class, so I'm contradicting myself here. They got blown out in 2 games against ranked opponents, and then Upper Iowa did give it to them pretty good. So I'm just going to lean on the side of caution here with Drake and think that bigger things are ahead for week 2. So let's just get out of this game with a W. What do you see? What are you hoping to see out of being at this opener? And I guess, what are you picking in this game, Ghost?
I'm hoping to see fireworks first and foremost. I've got a lot of reasons why I'm going to ride Drake. Okay, Jay. Number 1, the uniform bump. Those incredible baby blue uniforms are going to look sweet. They're going to look fast at Drake Stadium. And I think there's just maybe that the new hype. They're defending champions several years running, and they just keep changing regimes and keep punching out talent and success. So I think that they're just going to keep riding that momentum coming off a de facto national championship. I guess if you want to talk about the UWRF success and coming over to Drake, whole different ball game, like you said. But just looking at last year, you don't want to put a whole lot of stock into last year too. But the season opener that we covered last year was Drake putting a whooping on Upper Iowa, and then Upper Iowa puts a colossal whooping on South Dakota Mines. Transit property, I'm going to assume that's going to happen again. I am a little worried. If I was a betting man, How much do they open up with that playbook? That would maybe worry me a little bit, but I think they're just going to absolutely outclass Mines and the Hard Rockers. What's their mascot name? I was just looking at this. It's Grubby the Miner or something like that. He's going to be a long night, Dogtown Jay. I think Griff's going to be whooping up on him. So give me the Bulldogs. I'm excited to see. You talk about who's all going to be on the roster and who's all going to be playing. I know Chase Spellman's on the roster, quarterback from last year. Is he going to be the starting quarterback? And we haven't got our hands on it too deep. And to my knowledge, I haven't seen anything announced yet. Maybe we missed that, but I'm sure there's just position battles galore from returning Bulldogs, incoming transfers, maybe some incoming freshmen. Just a lot of excitement in the air with Drake football. And yeah, I'm jacked up to be there Thursday night. So I'll take the Bulldogs. We just can't agree on anything, you and I. Producer Zebo, he is with you on Mines plus 27.5. And JD's agreeing with me. He likes the Bulldogs. Right down the middle there, hey, we'll see who's right. Can't get a push because there's that hook on the end of that number. So may the best man win. Light up the scoreboard, Matheson.
See you on the other side.
The third and final Thursday night game that we want to talk about is an NAIA matchup, an interstate matchup, Heart of America Conference game, just right off the bat. Graceland Yellow Jackets are traveling to Oski to play the William Penn Statesmen J. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. It's on the Urban Edge Network. If you guys or listeners, you may be just an FCS fan or just an FBS fan or an NCAA Division III or D2 fan, check out the Urban Edge Network, guys. It's a free app. There's all sorts of games on there, about all of the NAIA games that you could want, and you can catch it for free. That's the best part. It's accessible. Check in to that game. Watch it for a little bit, if nothing else. Jay, I'll let you talk about who you've got here in this matchup.
Yeah, last year, William Penn gave it to him pretty good. It's 59-20. It was behind 3 scores from Loring and 330 through the air from Sterling Ramsey. Those guys are gone. And Coach Benavidez has touched on that in our recent interview with him. But there is a lot of production that's left in Oskaloosa. He did talk to us about how their rock of this season is their defense. They're returning so much production, so much experience is going to be on their defense side of the ball. So I'm just thinking, how is he going to adapt? Maybe he won't have to adapt as much to where he's more of a, hey, we're a defensive football team, but you got to play to your strengths. The one thing that did stick out to me when looking at this game, though, again, went back and looked through Massey's history. Last year, he had William Penn a 7.5-point favorite. They also hosted Graceland last year as well. But to then bump him up 2 points in this season, according to his rankings for his spread, either Graceland just lost that much production or people are starting to say, okay, Benavidez is a winner everywhere he's at. He's getting the respect. His coaching staff's getting the respect. And they're just William Penn's going to produce winning football as long as Benavidez is calling shots. We did go through and look at the roster for Graceland, and they are bringing back starting quarterback, leading rusher, but they lose a lot at wide receiver. A lot of seniors last year. A guy did transfer. They are bringing back a Jason Wagner who had 500 receiving yards, but defensive side of the ball, they lost a ton. A lot of their guys that were in the top 10 of their team's total tackles, they were a lot of seniors. So what are they going to bring back this season? I don't know. I'm just going to ride with the Statesmen. As long as Benavidez is there, he's got my support. And he was somebody last year who would start to chirp us a little bit on Twitter of good teams win, great teams cover. He obviously, these aren't real lines. These are just going off your power rankings, but the guy knows that he's just going to run it up because he loves winning football and he wants to create a culture there that is going to be inviting to other transfers, freshmen, whoever, to come and be like, yeah, let's keep it rolling in Oskaloosa. So you give me William Penn, and I have a hunch that you and our producers may be on that as well.
I'll give you a little spoiler on the producers. They are both on Penn 9.5, and I'm also on 9.5. I know we talked about, hey, disagreeing's not always the way to go, or it is the way to go. I just can't do it. The defense there, Coach B's got me wanting to run through a wall, and I just don't know about if Graceland's quite there yet. You talked about quarterback Shanks coming back. He got extensive playing time as a freshman. And then we had Javon Miner at running back. He put up some pretty dang good numbers last year. He was north of 1,100 yards and just a really big play guy, averaged about 6 yards a pop. But Penn's defense is his calling card, like you talked about. And just veterans galore. You look at their defensive backfield, kind of sticks out to me. Jeremiah Denardi, I believe he had a pick six in that Texas Wesleyan game that we were at. Marquise Harry's big PBU guy. I think they're going to give Shanks fits early and often, and I just don't think 9.5 is enough points for Graceland to cover. Thursday night under lights, I believe Coach Benavidez said a light show as well. The whole town of Austin's going to be buzzing. So give me a Statesman to cover, and man, you might want to ladder that one if you can find that one on the offshore book. Ladder it up to, I'm going to say up to 24.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'll say
maybe a little sprinkle, maybe a medium fountain at Casey's. Just sprinkle that on it a little bit. About $1.
Absolutely. Yeah, not a whole lot. We're not saying go crazy, but we are saying I think William Penn's going to slap around Graceland. So that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Jay, I think that's a pretty good spot to stop. Again, 3 great games. Any game is great right now. We are just so excited for football to be here and get some boots on the ground in Drake Stadium. I'm guessing you'll probably be following along with those other games on the Plus and Urban Edge. So we are excited to talk about those a little bit later on this week, where if all goes well, we'll hopefully have another show on Thursday night, or at least record a show, talk about what's going on with these games, what happened if the games are over, and we'll put out some content then on Friday, hoping that the Massey ratings are up for the lines that are taking place on Saturday, because we've got several NAIA games, Jay, at the helm. St. Ambrose travels to Culver Stockton. Clark travels to Mount Marty. Grandview, the defending national champions, travel to State. That's a night game too. Benedictine going to Morningside. That's the big one. That is the big game in the state of Iowa amongst the Iowa schools this weekend. That's another 6 p.m. kickoff for Morningside. And then Dort travels to Indiana Wesleyan. Hey, that's another big game too. Indiana Wesleyan is, I think I could pull up the D3 Rejects app here real quick and see where they are ranking. The coaches poll has Dort at 8, Indiana Wesleyan at 10. The media poll has Dort at 11, Indiana Wesleyan 7. So the Big J journalists, I got a little bit higher on Indiana Wesleyan there. I'm excited to see those lines. And then I want to say, do we have any other games? Mayville State's traveling to Briar Cliff for another night game. Waldorf kicking off things with their new coaching staff, going to Concordia, another night game on Saturday. So a lot of action to cover. We'll be making some picks here later on once those Massey ratings are out. And we'll do some recaps of Thursday night games. Jay, any parting thoughts going into Thursday?
Just super excited, and I hope you have a great time at Drake, and I hope they put on a fireworks show for you, like you said, because we've been talking about it for a while. We're both really excited about what Walker's going to bring to Drake, and just keep what has been being built in Des Moines, just keep it going, keep taking it to the next level, get into the playoffs. It's just exciting time, and can't wait to recap these games with you.
No doubt, and hopefully maybe they'll let me suit up. I would love it if I could if I could just throw on that powder blue and the white lid and just put me out there for one snap. I think I got one more left in me. Get the uniform bump, like I said, that would maybe carry me to a 2, 3, 4 yard gain. I don't know. Hey, get the 4. Could be 40, Jay. I don't know. But in all seriousness, though, I think Drake's going to be a ton of fun to watch, and I'm excited for the potential fireworks that they'll put on. But if you haven't done so, please subscribe to our channels. Follow us on social media if you haven't done so. Give us a listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, and follow us on all those social media channels: TikTok, X, Instagram is @SportsGuysIowa, Facebook is just Sports Guys Iowa, all the other podcasts just Sports Guys Iowa as well. We couldn't do what we do without you. Tell a friend. Enjoy some football, guys. This is awesome. Best time of the year, Jay. I'm Ghost. Jay, take care, everyone.